You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. You're watching I Have a Story to Tell, except it's not my story. Hi, I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and I love doing this show because it's just the guest and me, and I get the honor and privilege to ask questions about my guests' story and why it's relevant to our audience. So without further ado, let me bring out our guest, Heidi Safiori. She is the founder and CEO at PromptHealth, and they are transforming the health and wellness journey with personalization. Heidi, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Jacalyn. It's my pleasure. I'm very happy to be here.
Tell us where you're joining from today.
So I live in Vancouver, Canada.
I love Vancouver. I love Canada. And by the way, El Michelle in the house. Hello. I heard you this morning on Breakfast with Champions. Nice to have you here with us. So, our health is so important, as we all know, and it's really come into perspective even more than it has in the past. So tell us how you got involved and starting your own company as it relates to health, because it's so important that you're here today sharing your message.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to. So my background, I started growing up as a competitive swimmer. So I did a lot of swimming, got involved in a lot of races, triathlons, etc. And I had a lot of injuries along the way. So of course had to get treatment, and going through this, finding the right care was challenging. It involved a lot of trial and errors. So that's my background growing up. I then went on to studying kinesiology because I was interested to learn more about human body. So I did kinesiology, and then I did a master's in cardiac rehab. And through that experience, I also found out there was a lot of a lot of education that needs to happen when it comes to patient care. I spent my entire career in health. I worked in a private health clinic, which is one of the pioneers of healthcare in Canada, for over 15 years. And again, I saw the same thing. So during this entire 15 years, we had a lot of clients coming to us with different needs, and navigating through what they needed was very difficult. And I can get into this in more detail. And during this time, my mother also had cancer. So she struggled with 2 different types of cancer, and the treatment, not just the treatment, but the aftercare, everybody that she had to see, from her lifestyle to different things that she had to deal with, was again not very clear. So all of this made me want to solve this problem, which is this gap in knowledge in terms of people not knowing, where to start, and this navigation in finding the right practitioner and the right health service is not very easy. But of course, being a clinician, I didn't know where to start. So 2015, I went back to school and did a global MBA. And, learn as through when we were doing the MBA with my team, we got involved with a digital health company to launch in Mexico City. So I got that experience. And then after that, I started consulting with some startups, mostly in health, and started talking to small businesses in health, and learned the struggle on the other side. And the struggle on the other side was there's all these small businesses in health and all these health practitioners offering great solutions, but people don't know about them because they don't market themselves in the best way, or they, and so there's this gap on both sides. So that made me want to start PromptHealth, which is a two-sided online marketplace, trying to solve this gap to connect the practitioners and the health seekers easier and better. So that in a nutshell.
That's an incredible story. Oh my goodness. You are so accomplished and so well educated. And I just am so thrilled to have you share your story, your transparency. So thank you for that.
Of course. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I think we met on Clubhouse. Isn't that right?
Yes. And I'm so glad, the connections that I've made there is amazing. People like yourself and being able to share stories and creating more awareness. It's wonderful.
It really is. And El Michelle, who left a comment, she's on Clubhouse, and that's how I actually met her as well. It's really a platform. If you're not on there, and I don't think you're a paid spokesperson, I know I'm not, but the connections that you can make from around the world, people that you probably never would have interacted with, are possible there. And people are meeting on the side and creating their own collaborations. I don't care what industry you're in. It's really a phenomenal opportunity. So I'm grateful for that we got to meet as well. So Heidi, a question I have for you is, healthcare differs across the world, right? So in the United States, it's different than it is in Canada. And so how do you take whatever form of government run or hands-off government run healthcare systems and incorporate the platform that you have?
So what we do, in simple terms, you can think of it as matchmaking in wellness, right? It's kind of like dating. You don't know who the right person is. You're provided with all your options, and then based on what your preferences are, you can narrow it down. This is exactly the same thing. We're just providing all the options based on what your need is. So we start from the need, and then we provide all the options, and then you can, narrow down based on what your preference is, what's important to you, and you can make a better informed decision. So that's all we do. We provide the connection and a platform for people to learn more about who's out there, what is it they do, and so they can make better decisions. A lot of people say, why not Google? Well, because you don't even know what to search on Google. That's the problem. So we of course, we have a search bar that, if you know what you're looking for, you can. But we have a lot of these different categories where we prompt you to find the right person. So we don't get into a lot of details, especially like for US. It can be complicated in different countries. We're just doing the connection. That's it.
Thank you for sharing. Oh, sorry. Thank you for sharing that. That was a production blooper. Okay. Mm-hmm. So my next question to you is, when you started this company, okay, as I'm a business owner myself, there's all kinds of hurdles we have to overcome. And I love to share them because I think it really helps other people who are interested in leaving corporate and going out on their own. So would you share with us, what are some of the hurdles that you've encountered, and how did you find solutions to them?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So I actually spent, as I said, a majority of my career in one company, and that came to an end at the beginning of COVID, and it was perfect timing for me to start this company. So I started by myself. There was no co-founder. There was nobody. Started with an idea and some tools that I learned along the way with the MBA. And I knew how important it is to have a team, and the fact that I can't do it all by myself. So the first thing I did, I started building a team, and I have a wonderful group of people that are doing this journey with me. I have, I started, and we have a lot of resources in Canada in terms of like government grants and funds for innovations and things like that. So I was able to hire really brilliant students in business and marketing to form my business and marketing team. And I was able to get some funds to hire technical people, and then after that hire more more technical people. And once I had a business plan and a team, then I was able to raise my seed fund. And I knew that I need to get people that I can look up to. So I have wonderful advisors and mentors, experts in both healthcare and business. And I think we have a pretty good, solid team. And with the seed round that we raised, we were able to make our development better and better every day, and had pretty good progress. But it wasn't easy. It was, I would say probably 16, 20 hours of work every day, and still continues. But if you believe in something and you have a passion to make a change, you just do it.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And as business owners, we incur obstacles, and I'm a big fan of Shark Tank. I don't know if you watch that, or I think there's Dragon's Den or whatever it is. And Mr. Wonderful and the others, they'll say, "Oh, what you have is a hobby; it's not a business." And I think we all have to look at that at some point and say, hey, is this really viable? So when did you know that you had something that was truly a business and was viable?
Well, obviously, with traction, because it all starts with an idea and a passion and a gap that you see in the market. And I'm involved with a lot of startups because I did some consulting with startups. So I still go to some startup rooms on Clubhouse, and a lot of people say, "Oh, I have an idea." It doesn't start with a solution. It starts with a problem. So when a problem exists and you have a solution to that problem, that's when it's a valid idea. So I wanted to emphasize that first. And then you have to do your market research, you have to do your analysis, you have to know who's your competition, you have to do customer discovery to see if what you're thinking is actually correct. So we did a lot of all that. And then when we went to market in Canada, we had great traction from all over Canada. So we now have practitioners on our platform from all over Canada. And getting constant feedback, because the industry is changing, especially over the past year with COVID. The needs are changing. The way people do business is changing. So being open to hear people out and constantly improve, or if you need to pivot, or if you need to do anything to serve the market better, then you have to do that. And that takes ongoing communication, surveys, and getting to know your audience.
Excellent. And by the way, congratulations for starting a business during COVID. Yay. I love that. I did also. We've got another comment from Gramos Abazi. I hope I said your name right. Hello. Hello to you, and thank you for being such a big fan of the show. I really appreciate it. I do see you liking our programs and watching, so thank you very much. I was wondering, Heidi, who would you say is your perfect client, your perfect customer? What audience are you targeting?
So we have first of all, it's a two-sided marketplace, right? So we have two groups. We have the health and wellness practitioners. And when I say health and wellness, it would be anywhere from holistic care, alternative medicine, nutrition, fitness, preventative care. In Canada, the primary care physicians or specialists don't really need to market themselves because it's a public system and they're already backlogged anyways. But in US, everybody does need to, I guess they all need to market themselves. So anything related to health, I would say, on the healthcare provider side is, that audience. And on the health seeker side, if you're looking for any kind of health and wellness solution, whether it's mental health, emotional, social well-being, preventative care, it would be, sleep, nutrition, fitness, like anything like that. We do have different categories, and we're able to provide options based on that.
Thank you. And what does not specific numbers, but what does your onboarding costs look like? What is your fee structure for people who are in the seeking category?
It's free for the health seekers.
Okay.
So we want to make it accessible for everybody, and that's another thing that we keep hearing, like health equity and everything that happened with COVID. I was, part of organizations that I saw how people struggle and really like how hard it is to find healthcare. And this is one of my other missions, to make it accessible for everyone. So it's free for everyone. There's an app, there's a platform. And we're trying to, my goal by getting on as many stages as possible is to create that awareness and make it accessible to everyone.
And for all the Mr. Wonderfuls out there in Shark Tank, how do you monetize this so that Heidi and company actually benefit from it? Otherwise it's a hobby, right?
Well, so our revenue model is the healthcare providers pay a subscription fee. We have different layers and different services that we can offer them. There is a basic plan that any healthcare practitioner, as long as they have credentials, because we do a thorough vetting process to make sure everybody are accredited, can join the platform. If they want to have access to additional features to market themselves better and get the connections and get the reviews and provide education, then there is a subscription price attached to that.
Fantastic. Thank you. We need to take a break and hear from some of our sponsors, but I have so many more questions for you. It's really fascinating. So please stay with us. During the break, we're going to hear from 4 of our sponsors, I believe, and then we'll be right back with more from Heidi. Sound okay, Heidi?
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Stay with us here on USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
There are 7.7 billion people on Earth today. 40% of these people are under the age of 25. Young adults are the most fertile mission field in the world today. In Scripture, we see Jesus pouring his life into 12 young adults who he equipped to change the world and all of history. Like Jesus, we believe that the best approach to reach the world with the gospel is to invest in young, emerging leaders and equip them to build disciple-making movements. Concentric is the notion of surrounding and sharing a common center. Our center is the model and strategy of Jesus for both leadership development and ministry formation. As a global alliance, we provide equipping in biblical leadership based on Jesus' example in the New Testament. Jesus modeled for us how to make disciples that reproduce. Focusing on leadership development is key to creating movements that spread the gospel and Jesus' disciple-making strategy to young leaders around the globe. Our ministry alliance partners are actively equipping leaders and building movements of multiplication that reproduce the life of Christ. Join us today to equip young leaders with Jesus' strategy that will change cities and nations.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
Academy, Sedan, and Limo is a full-service transportation company serving the Philadelphia metropolitan area with full knowledge of the New York City, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. areas. We pride ourselves on being the most dependable, conscientious company in the industry. Our always on-time service and dependable pricing make us the company to call for any event or occasion. Our vehicles can accommodate any size party for any occasion. Our vehicles range from four-door sedans to SUVs to minivans to limo buses to full-size tour buses and can accommodate groups of 2 to 100. We offer airport shuttle service or over-the-road service without limitation regarding mileage or time, and no drive is too long or too far. So if you find yourself in need of transportation of any type with any vehicle, give us a call at 610-842-4564 and let us show you what a real transportation company can do for you.
Use code ACADEMY2020 to receive 20% off your first 3 rides, including parking and tolls.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. You're watching I Have a Story to Tell, but it's not my story, it's Heidi Safiori's story. Heidi is the CEO and founder of PromptHealth, where they are transforming the way that we get healthcare. And it's a personalized system, 2 sets of clients, healthcare seekers and healthcare providers. The platform is free to those who are seeking healthcare, and to the providers, it is a subscription model that provides a lot of enhancements and benefits depending on which part of the tiered system they sign up for. Is that correct, Heidi?
You got it.
Yay! Okay, thank you. So they've made quite a difference in Canada, and I'm wondering, Heidi, what is the rollout plan? Where are you today? Where do you want to be?
Yeah, so we focused last year in the Canada market, and we actually learned a lot. And this is why it's important to keep the communication open, and also, like, the whole landscape of health is evolving so fast during COVID because the adoption of virtual care was so much faster. So aside from that, there's also a lot of, we learned so much from different social media channels. So we are adding a lot of different features to our platform. We're actually completely revamping it and working on a 2.0 version right now, which we are releasing very soon in fall. I don't have an exact date yet, but we're releasing our 2.0 version, which has a lot of enhanced feature, which will provide a space for clients to learn more about the healthcare practitioners. I won't get into a lot of details for that but it's going to be really, really exciting. And we're also going to launch it in US at the same time when our new version is out. So stay tuned for that. So that's coming in fall, and we'll make an announcement on that. So that's the vision, going to US and hopefully, go from there.
Thank you, Heidi. I want to just share something with our audience that I had my health care provided by my employer. I was in the corporate world up until I resigned last March and started my own business. And I was on something called Cobra. And when Cobra was ending, I had to make some healthcare choices. And I'll tell you what, it was pretty overwhelming, and there's no one to speak to. You go onto a website and it's just kind of, and I thought, oh my gosh, I wish I had someone to talk to who could help me navigate through the healthcare system so I could pick what makes the most sense for me. So I think regardless of where you are in the world, people want to know that they have choice, they have options. And to your point, sure, anybody can go to Google and put in nutritionist and a zip code, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that that's the person that you should go to or that should be a good fit for you. So I really think that this personalization thing is where we need to be and where we need to continue going.
Thank you for saying that. And also learning from the accredited sources, right? Because anybody now can come on social media and claim to be an expert. When it comes to health, we can't mess around with our health, right? So we're trying to make that only limited to a credentialed, accredited people. So that's, as I said, we do a very thorough process to make sure the people that are part of the platform are accredited people, and people can come to learn from these guys about their choices and get educated. So that's coming in our upcoming features. But one thing that I've been struggling with over the past year, because I got involved because of this business a lot on social media myself, it's really bothering me that just anybody can talk about health, and I'm starting to see how frustrating and difficult it is for people. Like, for example, in Clubhouse, there is a lot of mental health rooms that are not maybe run by mental health professionals. It affects people's lives. So I think, and when I hear like people come and say, what supplement should I take, or what should I do for this, and what should I do for that? And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, first of all, you can't give medical advice. Second of all, who are these people talking about health? So we're trying to bridge that gap by creating that hub of trust. And that's what it comes down to.
Heidi, I think you hit the nail on the head. I've seen it on Clubhouse. I've seen it on LinkedIn. I've seen it in a number of places. First of all, if you go on LinkedIn and search engine, you put in coach, I think it's 6 million plus people. Yeah. Are all those people certified? Are all those people trained? No. And so it seems to me that during the pandemic, we have created a percentage of people who are out marketing supplements, books, giving advice, and they're not medical doctors. And sometimes they'll give a disclaimer, hey, I'm not a medical doctor, and then when you look at their numbers and see the size of their following, you think, oh, okay, it doesn't matter because they know what they're talking about. But I think we have to kind of peel back the layers and say, okay, this is a business person who's been able to capitalize on something. That doesn't mean that they know the best thing for you, for your health.
Exactly, and especially important when it comes to health, right? Because you're playing with people's lives, and I actually just made a video on this. That pandemic is an infodemic, because now there's too much information from too many people. So that's another barrier. Not only people don't know who to listen to, like where to start, but they also don't know who to listen to because there's too much. So we're trying to just like bring it all into one place and making it source of trusted information.
Excellent point. And something else I just want to bring up. I interview a lot of people who are in the healthcare in some way. They're not doctors per se, but one thing I think is interesting is I find myself writing down, oh, what should I get? I should buy this, 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 and this. And then I'm interviewing, I'm like, oh, this, and then I'm thinking, wait a minute, how do I know how they're going to interact? Like you start putting all these things together, and that could be a problem, that even though they're supplements and, we should have these nutrients, that doesn't mean that every person should have all of these things. You need some direction from a licensed, accomplished professional.
Exactly. And that's what we're trying to do, to make sure it's only coming from that, and to really build that online trust and community of health. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so needed. So you mentioned this a few times, but just for our audience so they know. So you have a vetting process. You have a process to make sure that people are who they say they are, and that they've got the credentials. Can you share, without going into specifics, but a little bit about what that process looks like?
First, we have uploading certification is optional because that itself is a barrier. But anyone, if they choose to upload their certification, they get the blue tick. So they they're more recognized. But we check everyone's background, association they say they're part of, and there's a lot of people that we haven't accepted actually. And that will get smarter over time with machine learning and AI. So we're working on that, but definitely anyone that signs up, we receive a notification to check them out before we accept them. Because we are saying that we've built this hub to come and not only get connected, but learn from true sources of information. So we want to make sure that's possible.
Excellent. And is there the opportunity for people to get information and actually work with healthcare professionals through telehealth?
So most of the practitioners now, especially over the past year, are involved with some sort of telehealth. So they're either doing their own, or if they're part of a bigger, wellness center or health center, they have a telehealth. So we don't get into that much detail. We just connect right now, and then after the connection, they can do whatever that they want to do. But most of these people have it. But we are going to work on more partnerships. So I'm open to whoever listening to this for partnerships for telehealth with telehealth companies. And any other health companies that you see opportunities, because we have, both of these groups of audience, the health seekers and providers, and we are really trying to build that online trust. I think that's our biggest thing. But we are providing opportunity for people to learn from the practitioners. So that's going to be on our 2.0 version that's coming up, which is going to look entirely different. And that's where we give a space to the health practitioners to actually educate these people, so people know this is the place you come to learn.
Excellent. So it kind of sounds the way it's set up today that if the healthcare provider provides telehealth, and that's something that they can provide, it also sounds like it's a great opportunity for these healthcare providers. So in the United States, there's kind of I don't know what you would call it, but the doctors are really good at what they do, but they're not good business people. So it sounds like, whether that's true or not, we don't want to generalize, but whether it's true or not, it sounds like that healthcare providers have a great opportunity to build their practice with business tools.
Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. And it's not just United States, it's anywhere in the world, because everybody are meant to do what they're good at. The doctors are trained, or not just doctors, like health professionals have gone to schools all these years to treat patients and educate patients, and they don't have time for a lot of the things that's required to promote themselves. So we are going to provide them with really easy, and I don't want to get into it in too much detail because that will come. So please stay tuned for that. With very easy tools to promote themselves better and educate people, so they don't have to go to random sources anymore.
Thank you. So Heidi, there are people watching on the live broadcast. There'll be people watching on the replays. It'll be out there forever. And then there'll be people listening on the radio and the podcast. So what is an ask that you might have of our audience to help you expand and get your platform out to more people?
Great question. So as I said, we are in Canada right now, coming to US in the fall. There is 2 groups that I would love to connect and collaborate with in order to grow on a bigger level, both in Canada and US. Right now, we're open to any kinds of partnerships with any, if you're like employers, insurers, fitness companies, any kind of a large organization with a big group of either health seekers or providers that can benefit from this system, open to partnership, collaboration, and I would love to have those discussions. And also, if you're a health seeker and love to see more things and love to learn more, we're all over social media. We have an Instagram channel, YouTube channel. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn, Clubhouse. I will be on Clubhouse every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and we'll make sure this room keeps happening. If anybody wants to connect with me and speak with me directly, I will be there, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram.
Thank you, Heidi. One more question I have for you. It just popped into my head. As we see technology evolving, right? We see it with our phones, it keeps changing. How will evolutions in technology impact your platform and your business?
Huge, because I think people, especially what we saw happening in social media and the online world, people are now getting all of their informations and connections, and even if they wanted, even if they didn't want to before, now they are, and now they are online. So I think trust, as I said, is the biggest thing, and if we are creating that hub of trusted sources, then people hopefully will know that this is the place to come to for their health and wellness solutions, and that's what we're trying to build and grow over time.
Wonderful. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you? And what is the value that you want people to take away from this interview today?
For sure. So in terms of value, be proactive about your health. Don't listen to just anyone. Make sure you are doing your due diligence before you take advice from someone. There is a lot of information out there. Anybody can claim to be an expert, especially, so do your due diligence, do your own research, and make sure you're getting information from trusted sources. So that's number one thing. And in terms of to get in touch with me, you can, I'm everywhere. You can search me on, I'll come up on LinkedIn, Instagram. You can email me at my name, or the easiest one would be info@PromptHealth.ca, or just connect with me on LinkedIn and Instagram.
Fantastic. Well, I'm so happy for you and so proud of you and excited for what's to come here in the United States. I think that's fantastic. And we'd love to have you back on after you do your rollout and hear how things are going and how we can help you.
That would be wonderful. I would love that. And I'm looking for more, hopefully, conversations on Clubhouse and hopefully back on here. And thank you so much for having me here. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. And I just want to let people know that if you want to watch the show from the very beginning, you can watch it on any of our platforms. But I always suggest going over to YouTube to USA Global TV and their playlists. And this will be under the playlist, I Have a Story to Tell. It won't be there under that playlist until tonight, but you can still see it right now. You can go over there. So thank you, Heidi. Again, it's been a pleasure. And again, just starting a business during a pandemic, it's something that has the ability to touch so many lives, whether it's a healthcare seeker or healthcare provider. Bravo. Kudos to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Jacalyn.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I just love that when somebody, she has so much experience and she's got so much passion, and then she's channeling that into her own business, which she's got a dynamic team behind her, and just bringing information into the hands of people like all of us consumers who our health is paramount. And we get the commercials running all the time about this drug, that drug, and then, oh, by the way, it could cause death. Oh, really? Or you go to WebMD, you put in the symptoms that you have, and you've already decided that you have XYZ wrong with you. Or you're over on Clubhouse in a room and somebody's talking about mental health awareness and do this and do that. We need to be able to trust the sources the information comes from. Remember that. Anybody can have an opinion. Anybody can put anything out there. Do they have the credentials? Do they have the background that will enable you to trust them and what they're telling you? So please do follow Heidi. Please do reach out to her, because she's the real deal and she really cares about what she's doing and helping to make this world a healthier place. So health is wealth. Remember that. All right, folks, we've got some other shows coming up. I just want to announce a couple of things that are new if you watch us regularly. Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, and 11 o'clock British Summer Time, every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I am doing an 8-minute live on all of our platforms as the listening mentor. So I just talking about credibility. You know me as a TV and radio show host. You know me as a broadcaster, producer, director. I am also a certified holistic life and career coach, a certified meditation coach, a certified yoga instructor. I have my master's and my doctorate, and I have been branded the listening mentor. I have been listening to senior level executives, C-level executives for my whole corporate career. And so part of why I don't use a script on this show is because I want to be actively listening. So what does this all mean? Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, after I stream for the day, I'm going to come back with 8 minutes of tips about the power and the art of listening, how you can have better relationships, how you can close a deal you might not have been able to close, and how you can really connect with people on an authentic level by listening. So I hope you'll join me again here on all these platforms that we stream on. You can always go over to YouTube, and here is my logo. It's the listening mentor. So if you would do that, that would be fantastic. The other thing I want to share with you is that I am running a phenomenal power of listening seminar. Every month I'm going to run a seminar. My team is over in the UK, so that's why the $ is there. But this particular one in September is the 16th, and it's 9:30, 1, and 7:30. So what will you get? You will get 90 minutes of me and you. We will have all kinds of scenarios, people sharing stories about how they felt they weren't listened to, and then we will have tips and strategies, and we'll be able to work together to come up with solutions on how to be a better listener. And I promise you, your life will change by being able to be a better listener. Okay, so how do you get to attend this seminar? All you have to do is go over to Instagram, to the link in my bio. My Instagram handle is dr.jacalyn, Jacalyn, and you can sign up for it. And guess what, guys? The best thing is if you sign up today by 6 o'clock, it's $30. $30 for 90 minutes. And I promise you, it will be well worth your while. If you can't afford the $30, please email me at Jacalyn@drjacalyn.com, and we'll see what we can work out to make sure you can attend. All right. Thank you again. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Again, go over to USA Global TV. You see it there if you would like to watch the show from the beginning. We will be back with Talking Heads, which are presenters from around the world who come and give us 15-minute lessons to help make us better personally and professionally. Thank you so much. We'll see you at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Bye.